नमस्ते और स्वागत है आप सभी का इंडिया वॉइस फेस्ट 2024 के इस खास सेशन में। मैं हूं दर्पण और आज है 3 दिसंबर यानी डे 2 ऑफ इंडिया वॉइस फेस्ट, इंडियाज बिगेस्ट वॉइस इंडस्ट्री फेस्टिवल। हमारे इस सेशन का टाइटल देखकर आप समझ ही गए होंगे कि बात होने वाली है पैसे की। आज हम बात करेंगे एक ऐसे टॉपिक पर जो हमें ख्वाबों को सच करने का एक जरिया देता है। हमारे साथ हैं फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग की एक्सपर्ट सर्टिफाइड फाइनेंशियल प्लानर जानकी पटेल और इनका एक्सपर्टीज है लोगों को उनके फाइनेंशियल गोल्स अचीव करने में मदद करना। तो चलिए मिलते हैं जानकी से और जानते हैं पैसा किस तरह आपका दोस्त बन सकता है। Hello and welcome back, everyone. We are here for Money Matters. Ji haan, this session is all about handling money and understanding how money can become our friend. I would like to now invite on the stream Janki Patel, who is a certified financial planner. Can we have Janki on the screen, please?
Hi, Darpan sir. How are you?
Janki, how are you doing? I'm doing very well. Thank you for doing this with us,
I'm
and thank you for sparing your very precious time. I think it's going to be a very interesting, insightful, and educational session today. Tell me, Janki, how are you doing and what's happening?
I'm just here for the session, and it's truly an honor to be here today and to have this opportunity to share some insights, on managing finance because you know it's challenging for freelancers to manage their finance. It often can feel daunting for them. So, it's my sincere gratitude to you, so for organizing this sort of a workshop for the freelancers and the voice actor community. So,
Absolutely. I think ये
truly,
पहली बार इस तरह का कुछ हो रहा है हमारी इंडस्ट्री में भी. Tell me one thing, Janki,
right,
have you had the opportunity? Do you have any
right.
freelance artist community as clients?
Yeah, definitely. We have a few clients, who are working in, nowadays you have seen influencers and they all earn freelancing money. So we have a few clients, like I have a few clients, who are not really earning, those who do not have stable income, and they are completely dependent on their freelancing income. So yeah, so yes, I've seen them. I've managed their finances. We are working on helping them achieving their financial goals as we discussed. So yeah, there are a few clients that I have who have taken a professional help for managing their money.
I think that's a very interesting point, professional help for managing your money. So let me tell you, Janki, that we have a very, very flourishing industry, the voiceover and dubbing industry, one of the fastest growing, one of the most prosperous industries. And people in this craft, people who are doing well, they're really doing well. And it's so while the income is great, but it is the unpredictability which is at the core of any freelance work, whether you are an actor, singer, dancer, voiceover artist, or anyone, as long
Right,
as you're not working on a fixed fee, on a
right,
retainership, which none of us are. We don't work on retainership anywhere. We are freelancing,
right.
so that becomes like a huge concern in terms of managing money. So there are a lot of misconceptions, there are a lot of myths around money. Since you are a financial consultant and you deal with people like us, people from the freelance community, what if I ask you, what are the most common myths that people come to you with, or the most common misconceptions about money?
the most common misconceptions about the money is that so there is an information overflow in the market. So if you'll see, and then there are so many different investment products, available in the market. And then, some or the other way, whether you go to bank or, you, you visit any, your friends, even your relatives, your friends can give you,
Yeah.
they also flood you with a lot of, finance tips. So you're always confused at where to invest, how to start with it, and specifically when you are, doing a freelancing job and the income is not stable. So the question that I feel that they are confused, they are worried about which investment avenue they should select, they should go ahead with, because each and every investment avenue will have, different risk appetite, will have a different purpose. So I believe until and unless your investment has any purpose attached to it, you'll not be, disciplined investor.
Yeah.
So that is the reason that people are not clear about their financial goals. And when I speak with freelancers, they're not, very clear. They don't know what is their exact income, what is their exact expense. So it is very important to create a spreadsheet, an Excel sheet, and maintain the records of your income and expenses. And that would be the first step, and that will, remove a lot of, that will give you a lot of clarity, basically, that how much you're able to save and how much, and what all investment avenues. So the misconceptions that I see is that, somebody who has come from, a bad investment experience will always, would not like to burn their fingers in equity.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that so they have, certain misconceptions that equity is not my cup of tea. While now we have
Mm-hmm.
so many different, investment avenues, which are highly regulated and monitored by the
Correct.
regulatory bodies. So, somebody who has never invested, who has, never explored new investment avenues, and who have always been into traditional investments, will always have initial hiccups and would like to have more clarity. So when basically when we, sit with them, complete clarity what this product is all about, and what purpose does it serve for you, what all risks and returns are associated with this product, that brings a lot of clarity to them. And then gradually, with, slow and steady, taking small steps at a time, will, uh, that way they, come out of the misconceptions, about the money. And I
Correct.
believe money itself has a very fickle nature. You'd be knowing it. Money का nature बहुत चंचल है.
और चंचल है
तो
बिल्कुल.
अगर आप उसको एक सही डायरेक्शन नहीं देते हैं, तो आपको पता है, अगर आपके सेविंग अकाउंट में ऐसे ही रुपए पड़े हैं, then you will not, if you're not investing, or if you're not channelizing that money properly in a, better direction.
There are two schools of thought. One school of thought is that you earn an income. Let's say you earn 100 rupees. Out of that, 75 rupees is what you spend, and 15 is what you invest, and 10 is what you save. One school of thought is that invest what you save. And there's another school of thought now which says save what is left after investing. So that's another very interesting thing in today's time, especially for people like us who are freelancers. It is imperative that the habit of saving, se zyada the habit of investing, is inculcated at an early stage. I know that I've also had friends who've sometimes said, "Ke, yeah, I don't want to invest any small amount. कुछ बड़ा होगा तब करेंगे." And I am from the school of thought that even if you start with 500 rupees, my school of thought is be consistent. Be consistent, because you only after 10 to 12 years will the eighth wonder of the world kick in, which is compounding. So so I strongly believe that to reach that stage, one needs to be consistently diligent. So if I talk
Absolutely.
about if we talk about investing products or investment opportunities, or obviously, like you, I think you hit the nail with your first statement that there is too much over information. And I believe that investment is not a very complicated subject,
Right.
provided you don't put too much mind to it. And like
Right.
you have, like, I'm sure you must be knowing people जिनके 50-50 म्यूचुअल फंड हैं, जबकि
Right.
आपको 2 से ज्यादा की या 3 से ज्यादा की जरूरत नहीं है. So
Exactly.
do not put so much mind to it. I think
Right.
so. If you look at, if I ask you to list out, keeping in mind the voice artist community or the freelance community, जहाँ पर अनप्रेडिक्टेबल इनकम होती है, तो कभी कभी पैसे की जरूरत आ पड़ती है, वो किसी को भी आती है, बट हमारे काम में देयर कैन बी अ लल पीरियड व्हेन वी सडनली need to need to encash some of our investments. So what kind of investment products would you tell us about which could be suitable for our kind of profession?
So you rightly mentioned, that there is an overflow of information even about how to create budget. So I'll tell you a very simple rule. There is a rule of 50, 30, and 20. So it's a very simple rule to follow. Then every freelancer, every voice artist can follow this rule. So 50% of your income, you spare it for your, you keep it for all your needs. Let's say you have some, bills to pay, you have rent to pay, or you have, let's say you have taken a loan and you have to pay an EMI or something like that. So the expenses which are, necessary for you to pay on monthly basis, that you keep aside. 30% you keep aside for the bonds or for the fun time that you want to have, or for your lifestyle, and then remaining 20% you keep for your investment purposes. So this 50, 30, and 20 is a very simple budget rule that any freelancer or any voice artist can apply to their income. So that is that. I always feel that given the irregularity of freelancers income, it is very important to have certain safety. जैसे एक कार हम लोग
Safety
चला,
net. Mhm.
हाँ, तो एक सेफ्टी बेल्ट होना बहुत जरूरी होता है. तो वो आई फील के इट बिकम्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि जिसकी स्टेडी इनकम होती है वो तो इजीली कर सकते हैं अपना फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग. But it becomes very important for any freelancer to do this thing. So it you may not like it, but if you are not doing it, then if your financial life is going to be in a big trouble.
Correct.
So firstly, these three things I believe that everyone should have. So first is your health insurance and your term insurance, I feel, because your and employee may have a lot of benefit. They have a benefit of their EPF, NPS. They get insurance. So they have got a lot of options for the retirement, as well as in terms of their insurance policies and everything. They also get health insurance at times and term insurance as well. But we being, you being the community of freelancers do not have those privileges. So firstly, it is very essential to have proper health insurance. Proper, I would not say, I would say adequate health insurance.
Adequate health insurance, you would mean Mediclaim.
Yes, Mediclaim. So it is very important. See, in case of any emergency, in case of even one hospitalization, it can ruin your complete investment that you have
Yeah,
saved this
absolutely, Janki. वो एक saying है ना, एक saying है कि if you do not have Mediclaim, you are just one illness away from complete poverty.
Right.
Yeah.
So one hospitalization can ruin all these years of your savings. So it is very important to have your health insurance in check. I would suggest at least have 20 to 25 lakhs in these specific. After the Corona times, we all have realized that it's very important to have adequate health insurance. If you're a family of 3 or 4, it is very important to have at least 20 to 25 lakhs of health insurance. And I and my husband both have around 25 lakhs of health insurance. So that is very important. So
Absolutely.
that will ensure that your investments are safe. Your health
I think
insurance.
ये बहुत this is a very interesting point since we're talking about this. So this I face this a lot. I see this a lot even in my friends and acquaintances. These two products that you're talking about, health insurance and term insurance. So the thing is, again, a very traditional orthodox thinking is कि अरे पैसा वेस्ट जा रहा है, हमने यूज तो किया नहीं. अब मैं उनको कैसे समझाऊं कि जब तक आपने यूज नहीं किया तब तक इट इज ग्रेट न्यूज. And that money is to be understood that is an investment actually instead of an expense, or rather that is actually an insurance, क्योंकि you might be paying 20,000 per year and you might, god willing, you might never use, you may never need it, but
Right.
one illness you might have a bill of 10 lakhs और वो पिछला सब निकल आएगा. But again
Exactly.
it requires Janki, again, it requires a very, I would say, an educated and a foresight driven mindset. So that's why
Right.
your relationship with money is very, very important. And that is, even when it comes to term insurance, traditionally, our earlier generation has taken all these क्या कहते हैं, endowment policies, and they've always confused insurance to be an investment product. Jabki
Right.
term insurance, I think, is the most amazing thing, where for very less money you can insure, you can assure your
Right.
kin of a good sum of money in case something unfortunate happens to you.
Exactly. So I always tell my clients that, do not mix your investments and insurance.
Absolutely.
Your, insurance, whatever insurance that you're taking, take a plain vanilla insurance. When you're
Absolutely.
and whenever you're doing investments, keep your investments, aside from insurance. So first is, so when you're buying a health insurance policy, firstly, you are not only insured. So this is not an insurance of your health. You rightly pointed out. It's an insurance of your savings, your investments that you'll not end up using if you use just one
Correct.
hospital.
Absolutely. 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 Bang on. I think this is a very, very important point. People do not really associate health and term insurance with the word investment, but the fact is, it is actually an insurance of your investment, so that when the need arises, you don't need to break your investment. And
Right.
I think this is so important when it comes to money. But also, this brings me to, like I was saying earlier, it brings me to a mindset of how you treat money. So there are two individuals. One individual treats it as an absolutely unnecessary expense, and the other one thinks of it as a necessary investment of money to
Hmm.
secure your health and your everyday life. So I think this is a very, very important point, Janki, and I hope that when someone like you says this, it really impacts, it influences people. In fact, even when it comes to us as a voice artist community, I think it would be a great idea if many of us come together, hundreds of us come together and look at something like a group insurance. I'm sure many such products can be available. Any company would be happy to offer us a discount or a good rate. So
Def-
that should be a good idea.
that would be a good idea, definitely.
Yeah, because we do not have any umbrella. We do not have any umbrella body which is giving us that facility of having an insurance. Like you said, people who are corporate employees, their umbrella body is their company, and the company ensures that they have adequate medical insurance. But we do not have that, so we have to fend for ourselves. और ऐसे में अगर हम ये कदम नहीं उठाएंगे, तो एंड हमारे साथ कितनी बार होता है, हमारी इंडस्ट्री में कई बार ऐसा होता है कि someone has passed away and someone is suddenly has got a terminal illness and they have
Hmm.
nothing to fall back on. तो ऐसे में
Right.
लगता है कि wish that person during his or her working life had showed an inclination towards regular small investment, that corporates could have really become big over the next 20-30 years. So I
Right.
really wish that people understand this.
So even nowadays, health insurance policy is also available on, you can pay the premiums on monthly basis, quarterly basis. So now we've got a lot of facility. that we have been provided with a lot of facilities. So basically like you rightly said, that one need to have a mindset, basically, and I believe that can be taken care by other
Cultivated. It can be cultivated and it can be taken care of by, absolutely.
right. So when because many people realize this during the times of corona, and many have their investments were wiped off completely. So I believe, so that is one thing I feel, which is very important. Secondly is term insurance. So term insurance is something you go for a plain vanilla term insurance, and at least I would suggest whatever you are earning. So basically, term insurance is not something uh, you know you're not insuring your life or something like that. I believe that you're insuring your family's financial future.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I believe when a person dies, so the family will have two types of losses. One will be an emotional loss, another will be a financial loss. So
Correct.
it takes some time for family to go through that emotional loss, but the financial loss after those 5 6 months of you're crying and everything, once it is done, then once you know when you have to manage the finances, when you have kids,
When the
who's
bills and the loans start piling up, that is the time you realize,
yes.
okay, yeah,
So when the earning member of a family dies, so there is a huge financial loss that the family has to go through. So that is term insurance is something I believe that is securing the plans that you have made, financial plans or the goals that you have made for your family will be taken care by the term insurance. So whether you have
absolutely.
planned higher education for your kids, or you have some retirement goals wherein you want to create a retirement corpus, you
Yep,
don't
yep.
know what your family that you have left behind is going to do without the money. So we've come across many even in the industry, in the in our industry we have seen people have not done that. In film industry we have seen, in your industry also there are so many people who do not take term insurance, and the family is left without no money, and they have to depend on people. They have to create an another income source or something like that. So that is something which is very essential, you know for a freelancer as well, to have a plain term insurance. So these are your safety belts that I believe.
Yeah,
And third, and the very most important thing is your emergency fund.
yeah.
So I believe, so these three things should be in place first before you move ahead with any other financial goals. So
These are
am
the
I?
shock absorber. These are the shock absorbers of your car called life. I
Yes.
remember seeing a very interesting interview of Javed Akhtar,
Okay.
where he spoke about what these shock absorbers of life are. He was talking about something else, but I think it can apply here. He said a very interesting thing. He said, गाड़ी में जो shock absorber होते हैं, वो तब काम नहीं आते जब सड़क बहुत अच्छी हो. क्योंकि जब
Right.
सड़क अच्छी होती है, तब shock absorber का काम ही नहीं है. पर
Yes.
शॉक अब्जॉर्बर तब काम आते हैं जब सड़क बहुत उबड़ खाबड़ हो और आपकी गाड़ी बहुत ऊपर नीचे जा रही हो. तब वो शॉक अब्जॉर्बर जो है, वो गाड़ी का जो सड़क का इम्पैक्ट है, उसको अपने ऊपर ले लेते हैं ताकि आपको ज्यादा तकलीफ नहीं हो. तो ये
Right.
जो तीन आपने बताया, इमरजेंसी फंड बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट, हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस और जिसको मेडिक्लेम कह लें हम, और आपका एक लाइफ का टर्म इंश्योरेंस, ये तीन आपके एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट आपकी जिंदगी नुमा गाड़ी के शॉक अब्जॉर्बर्स हैं और आपको होने ही चाहिए. करेक्ट.
Right. So see, when we are talking about voice actors community, like you said, that there is no income stability that we have. So in that case, having emergency fund which can let's say, because there would be a few months wherein you may not get the kind of work that you are expecting. There would be a few months when you are over flooded with a lot of work. So in that case, for those lean months, I believe that if you have at least your 6 to 8 months of your emergency fund, so this your
Mm-hmm.
6 to 8 months of your, let's say, your total income also you can take. Let's say you have, let's say, average monthly income of around 70K. So you keep at least aside, 6 to 8 months of 70K. That would be around 4.5 to 5 lakh rupees. That is the emergency fund you keep aside. So these three things will bring a lot of mental peace to you. That you know that now your investments are safe, whatever you have accumulated that is safe, because you have taken a proper health insurance, adequate health insurance. Your family's financial conditions will be safe in case you are not there. So that would bring a mental peace to you. And thirdly, in case of any emergency, when you need cash in hand, you have emergency funds with you. So if these three things are first taken care of, I believe that will bring a lot of mental peace to a person, and that will
Absolutely.
be, say, the first step towards managing your financial life.
I think it's wonderful. मुझे बड़ा अच्छा ये लग रहा है that you seem to be somebody who likes to take a very, very organic and a very holistic foundational approach, because we didn't start talking about सीधा कि पैसे को बढ़ाना कैसे है और पैसा मल्टीप्लाई कैसे होगा और कंपाउंड कैसे होगा, इक्विटी में क्या होगा. हमने बात शुरू की, सबसे पहले आप अपने फाइनेंशियल फ्यूचर की नींव डालिए, और उस नींव के जो स्तंभ हैं वो ये हैं. आई थिंक ये मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगा. ये एटीट्यूड एक फाइनेंशियल प्लानर के लिए बड़ा जरूरी है, because I believe a financial planner cannot be a risk taker.
Right?
He or she should be very conservative in terms of laying a strong foundation. ये तो वही बात हो गई कि आपको 20 माले की बिल्डिंग अगर बनानी है और आपने जल्दी 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 बना दी है, तो 20 माले तो पहुंच जाएंगे, पर वो एक हल्का सा कुछ भूकंप आएगा, पूरी बिल्डिंग ढह जाएगी. आप पहले 6-8 महीने फाउंडेशन पे काम कीजिए, उसको पानी में डुबो के रखिए, उसको मजबूत बनाइए कंक्रीट को, फिर आप बिल्ड करिए. तो आई थिंक ये जो है आपके फाइनेंशियल फ्यूचर का फाउंडेशन है, which is your insurance across your health, across the future of your family's life, and across any emergency that might come in during your time, for which you don't need to break your investments. क्योंकि जब इन्वेस्टमेंट टूटता है, तो जो कंपाउंडिंग की जर्नी है, या जो उसको जो वो टूट जाती है, वो रीसेट हो जाता है कहीं ना कहीं, और जिसके बारे में भी हम आगे बात करेंगे. तो आई थिंक दिस हैज बीन अ ग्रेट start to this conversation, Janki, and it has been lovely. Now we'll now come to the investment part. We'll now open up the entire Pandora's box of how to make your money work for you. क्योंकि जैसा आप कह रहे थे कि हमारी इंडस्ट्री में आई थिंक इनस्टेबिलिटी से ज्यादा अनप्रेडिक्टेबिलिटी है. क्योंकि स्टेबिलिटी तो है, क्योंकि हमारा जो प्रोफेशन है वो बहुत ही फ्लरिशिंग प्रोफेशन है. वी आर अ वेरी क्रिटिकल पार्ट ऑफ द मीडिया एंड एंटरटेनमेंट वर्ल्ड. We've been there, we'll always be there. प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हम में से कई लोग जब बहुत सफल होते हैं, हमें लगता है कि ये सफलता हमेशा रहेगी, और उस सफलता के दौरान आप उस पैसे की इज्जत नहीं करते हो, आप लग्जरीज में पैसे उड़ा देते हो. पर the law of averages will catch up. Everyone will go through a lean phase, and what you do in your good phase, what you do with your money, is what will help you in your lean phase. So अंग्रेजी में कहा होता है, the best time to start investing is yesterday, and the next best time is today. So with that, I am going to now ask Janki to speak at length about the various financial instruments that are available, and the how do we choose between risk and stability, and also talk to us about the eighth wonder of the world, compounding of your money.
So I believe, Darpanji, that when it comes to investing, it is very important to understand client's risk profile. So basically, your risk profile analysis, once it is done, then we move towards determining your financial goals. So it is very important to give purpose. So we all need purpose in our life. Similarly, to invest, you will also need a purpose. So when your money is linked to certain financial goals, then you'll not think about redeeming it. You'll not think about withdrawing it. So that is the first thing. So there are two very important things. First is understanding the risk. uh, of your own risk, because there would be people who are, not comfortable with a lot of volatility in the market, who have always invested in traditional investment avenues such as FDs, maybe PPF, or bonds and all such things. They might not be comfortable investing in equities or maybe mutual funds, equity linked mutual funds. So it is very important, firstly, determine your financial goals, determine your risk profile, and then we move on to asset classes. So now, there are many investment avenues, but there are also, firstly, it is very important based on your financial goals, because your financial goals can have a different duration. Let's say you want to, you are a traveling voice artist, and you keep traveling. So that's your recurring goal. So that's your short term goal. So that would, you'll require money maybe in 6 months or maybe in a year. Similarly, there could be some mid-term goals, wherein you want to buy a car or you want to buy a house. That could be your, mid-term goals that would have a
Correct.
duration of 3 to 5 years. And then there could be a long-term goal, let's say your retirement goal, let's say your kids' education goal, higher education goal. So that would be of around, 8 to 9 years or 10 years or maybe more than
Correct.
10 years, right? So based
Mhm.
on that, we choose the asset classes. So then there are different asset classes. We've got equities, we've got debt, commodities. In commodities, we have forex, gold, silver, and then we have alternate investment asset classes.
Of
So
course.
so basically, let us start with equities. So in equities, I always feel that if you are not very passionate about market, you should not go for direct investment.
Absolutely.
So if you're not,
Absolutely.
so let's say I am into finance profession, but I'm purely into financial planning, or maybe on day-to-day basis I track the markets, but I'm not a huge follower that today what went up, what went down. I don't do F&O trading. All these
Correct.
things I go for it. So I'm not that passionate person. I'm a long-term investor, so I invest in
Correct.
assets which over a longer period of time will provide me good returns. So if you're not a very passionate about equity markets, then don't go for direct stocks,
Correct.
because we have also seen change in investment behavior post corona. So post corona, a lot of things have changed, and one of those things are also your investment people behavior towards investment.
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, the stocks that you used to buy for a longer duration, and you think that, let's say I bought TCS, and TCS is in 10, 15, 20 years going to give those sort of returns, will compound, and I'll have triple money or 4 times of my money. I don't think that that's the kind of returns you would be getting going forward. So it is very
Yeah.
important that if you're not very passionate about markets, so do not go for direct equity trading. Rather, you go for mutual funds, which are already professionally managed and which are highly regulated by SEBI. So
Correct.
equity is one thing. Then there are certain other professionals who manage small cases. So there are small portfolios that one can go for. There is
Correct.
if you want to invest more, 50 lakhs or more than that, you can go for PMS. That
Correct.
way, that is these are a few uh, avenues which invest in equities. Then
I
comes
think at
to
this, sorry, before we move ahead, I think I want to expand on this a little. I want you to share with us in a little detail about equities, because I feel that even today, in spite of all the hype around us, in spite of markets going crazy, even today, I think the percentage of people in our country who invest in equities is still in single digits. So, why don't you people still equate equity investments with satta bazaar or speculation? I still feel that there is a lack of information and education about the true holistic meaning of investing with the company. You literally become a part owner of the company, and what you are doing is you are actually riding with the journey of the company. In simple words, it is extremely difficult for one person to start a Larsen and Toubro, to start an Infosys, to start XYZ, to start any of these, to start a TCS. It is virtually impossible for one person to be able to start all these companies and drive them. But one
Right.
person can be a small part of the growth of these companies. So, and that is your equity market. And so, why don't you dispel some of this myth and assure people about the broader meaning of investing in equity markets and how it can be a great way to generate wealth uh, for anyone in the long run.
Right. Um, so basically, when you are investing in equities, when you are investing, you're buying shares of, let's say, TCS or Wipro or any other company.
Correct.
You are also that small percentage. You're basically the owner. That certain percentage of or the amount of shares that you have bought. You are becoming part of that company. You are owning the shares of that company, so you're one of the members of that company.
Correct.
When so basically, as in when the company is going to grow, the company is going to make the profit, and the same, so the profit will be shared in terms of the price increase in
Correct.
the share price. It can be distributed as dividends,
Dividend.
as your income. So basically, you're becoming shareholder, a stockholder in that company whenever you're buying shares of that company. So in long run, so basically when I talk about the large cap companies have been in the market for many years. They've created an empire. And these companies, when you're becoming a shareholder or stockholder of this company, or basically a stakeholder also of this company, so whatever they are earning, whatever the market is gauging, that how the profitability of that company is going to be, the same sort of returns you'd be expecting. So you're becoming part of the growth of that company when
Correct.
you're investing in equities. And there could be a few, let's say हमारी जैसे इनकम में लीन डेज आते हैं, वैसे उनके भी होता
Mhm.
है कि
Of
वो
course.
अच्छा नहीं परफॉर्म करती है, वो कभी बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्म कर लेती है. So that sort of market volatility we may face when we are investing in these stocks. So they will have, since the price of any share that you see is always it shows the future of that company. So so so
Yes.
so so that's how. So whenever you're investing in such companies, you can ensure that you're going to grow in the same way the company is growing. And that
Correct.
in that road you may face volatility, there could be ups and downs, but at the end, if the company is going to do really well, and if you see that there is a great future of that company, then you can ensure great returns with that company. And similarly, when I'm talking about mutual funds, let's say, because nowadays it is very important, there are so many sectors now that are there in the market, and tracking those sectors, tracking that company's profitability, how the management is changing.
It is
It
not
is.
everyone's cup of tea. An average and a layperson cannot do that.
Yes. So for that, we can have, you can own all these companies' shares with a very small amount. You can start with as small as 500 rupees by investing in mutual.
Absolutely.
So that mutual fund will have all those companies in which you want to invest in their portfolio. So there are so many mutual funds. There are more than 4,000 schemes available. So if you think that this scheme aligns with your investment objective, that this scheme invest in the companies in which you wanted to invest, you invest
Correct.
in that mutual fund scheme and you be part of that company and its growth. So
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that is once again professionally managed, and you'll not have to even track the progress of the company. So that will be taken care by the fund manager.
absolutely. The fund manager is a trained professional who understands how to study uh, potential, how to study companies for potential investment, and instead of one person, they probably 10,000 or 100,000 or 10 lakh people, they all chip in with their money. It gives the fund manager a better bargaining power to get access to these shares from the market or off market at a better bargaining. They get to leverage their power, and the fund managers are trained. That's their job. Just like you and me have a job. I'm a voiceover artist. You're a financial planner. Somebody's an engineer. Somebody's a doctor. These guys they're financial analysts, and that's what they do. So it is a great idea to let them manage your money for a small fee and not put too much mind to it. जो हमने शुरू में बात की थी कि too
Hmm.
much over information, बोलते हैं ना, don't be over smart for lack of a better word. For lack of a better word, just put blinders and just keep your investment on track. I think
Right.
even if you do investment or long-term investment is actually very boring. Most of the time you need to do nothing. It's like that five-star ad. You do nothing and magic
Right.
will happen, but you do nothing for the longest time. And of course you make sure that you invest in the right companies, or you're investing in good funds that you are tracking regularly and stuff like that. But yes, a mutual fund can be a much more practical and a safer way for people who want to participate in the equity market but do not have the qualification, the time, or like you said, the passion or the education to study these companies. But again, the disclaimer is that equity investment, unless you are a trader, which is a profession in itself, जिसको हम कहते हैं day trader or a
Right.
trader. But if you're not one, if you're a long-term investor, do not put money which you need next month or next week or next year. Put
Right.
money in for a longer term horizon. It's like आप पेड़ लगाते हो आम का, तो आप एक साल में आपको पेड़ फल नहीं देता है. अगर आप एक
Right.
डेढ़ साल में वो पौधे को काट दोगे तो ना तो पौधा बचेगा ना कभी पेड़ बन पाएगा. तो इसके लिए
Very
बड़ा जरूरी है कि उस पेड़ को पकने दो आप. बिल्कुल.
right. And long term investment, आपने you know rightly said कि आपको तुरंत फल नहीं दिखते हैं उसको.
Correct.
You wait for 8 years, you wait for 9 years, you wait for 10 years, and then you see the power of compounding. I'll just give you an example. Let's see if
Please.
you're doing a 10K of SIP on monthly basis, and then you have done the SIP for 20 years. Simply, I'm not increasing my SIP, applying
Correct.
10,000 of SIP in equity scheme, equity mutual fund that I've done. Now, what do you think will I be able to make? And so basically, let me tell you that how much you have invested. So in
24 lakhs.
24 lakhs you have invested.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if I'll tell you that, let's say even, let's say minimum returns that I'm computing is, let's say 15%.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let's say 15% of your CAGR returns
Mhm.
over 20 years, you can make 1.5 crore.
Wow.
So
That's the
gradually,
power of compounding. Wow.
if you'll see, so
Yeah.
you're out of 24 lakhs is your investment only.
Correct.
1.28 lakhs, 1.28 crore is your profit.
And that 24 lakhs is staggered over 20 years. You're not putting
Yeah.
in that 24 lakhs today. So
So
that's
that's
the
the
magic of that.
yeah,
That's the mathematics. That's when you break it down on the face of it, it sounds unbelievable.
right.
But when you break it down, it is simple, pure, basic math.
Simple, very simple.
या क्योंकि जो आप 10,000 रुपया जो आपका आज 1 लाख रुपया लगा रहे हैं, वो अगर 15% बढ़ रहा है, 15%, तो अगली बार वो 15% 1 लाख पे नहीं बढ़ रहा है, वो 15% 1,15,000 पे बढ़ रहा है, and so on and so forth. So that's
Yes.
the magic, and that's where your compounding kicks in. But it takes like that 10-year threshold or something for it to cross, for it to really explode. So I really I really wish that more and more people get educated about investing in equity first. क्योंकि अगर बिना education के हम invest करते हैं तो फिर यही होता है कि आज मार्केट बढ़ रहा है, हमको लग रहा है हमारी लॉटरी निकल जाएगी, और जब कल मार्केट में जब करेक्शन आता है तो हम कहते हैं तो ये तो सट्टा बाजार है. So people need to, I really wish that this financial market literacy should be actually inculcated in our school for people to
Right.
become, so that you can take a more educated and informed decision whether you want to participate or not. Not
Right.
because you think it's satta bazaar.
Right. And I'll tell you, sir, equity market is not for short-term investments.
Absolutely.
It is not for trading. It is not for F&O trading. It is purely a long-term investment. If you are investing for more than let's say 5 years, or if you remain invested for let's say 6 years, even if the market goes down, let's say even 20%, you'll only see the reduction in the profit. You'll never see that your invested amount has gone.
Your capital does not erode, जिसको हिंदी में कहते हैं नफे में ही नुकसान होगा.
हाँ, तो सिर्फ आपका प्रॉफिट कम होगा, आपका कैपिटल कभी भी नीचे नहीं जाएगा. So it's a long term thing. Equity markets are always for long term, and SEBI is coming up with a lot of laws for that, because after 2020, there are so many young people who are trading, who are doing trading in F&O, and I'll tell you, on an average, almost 150 CR is being lost every day.
Wow.
I
remember this data from Zerodha, if you remember that, when Nitin Kamath shared that more than 90% of people who do trading on the Zerodha platform, they do not make money.
Yes, 93% people.
93%. Wow.
They lose
so people
money.
confuse this data as देखो equity market में कितना loss होता है.
Right.
जबकि हम इस बात को समझे ही नहीं है कि आपने जब तक वो diligently वो 6-7 साल का threshold cross नहीं किया, और यहाँ पर जानकी ये बहुत होता है, especially again I'll come back, I'll connect this with our community, क्योंकि होता क्या है, हमारा जो काम है as freelancers, like I said, sporadic income होती है, कभी बहुत, sometimes they're very good months, sometimes they're very lean months, so people tend to have this thing कि यार टाइम खराब चल रहा है तो छोड़ो, नहीं करते हैं या पैसा निकाल लेते हैं, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं आपका पहला फाउंडेशन जो है वो इमरजेंसी फंड का जो आप बात कर रहे थे, उसका अगर ध्यान नहीं रखा है तो जब मिनट आपको जरूरत आएगी आप आपके इक्विटी को तोड़ोगे. दैट मीन्स आप उस पेड़ को पकने ही नहीं दे रहे हो, और अगर आप पकने नहीं दोगे, जब तक वो नहीं पहुंचेगा, लोग अपने एसआईपी रोक देते हैं बीच में, पीपल स्टॉप देयर रेगुलर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स बिकॉज अरे कुछ हो नहीं रहा है, कुछ हो नहीं रहा है. इट्स लाइक सेइंग कि जब आप पेड़ को काटना शुरू करते हो, आई मीन पेड़ को काटना नहीं चाहिए, बट जब किसी डेड पेड़ को भी आदमी काटना शुरू करता है तो पहली बार जब उस पे वो एक्स मारते हैं तो वो नहीं टूटता है, उसको 100 बार मारना पड़ता है, फिर 101वीं बार जब मारते हैं तब वो टूटता है. तो वो उसको 100 बार जब तक नहीं मारोगे तब तक वो 101वीं बार नहीं पहुंचेगा. उसी तरह इन्वेस्टमेंट में भी इक्विटी मार्केट, आई थिंक लाइक यू वेरी ब्यूटीफुली सेड दैट इट इज नॉट फॉर द शॉर्ट टर्म. बी कंसिस्टेंट, be diligent, be regular. Even if you start with 500 rupees, it can create magic. Try and increase your amount gradually. Whenever you have a good time, try to invest. And it's boring. Don't look at it every day.
Yes, that is what I wanted to say. That don't
Please.
track the markets on regular basis. Let markets do their work. Let your investments do their work. So yeah, that is
कोई किसी इलेक्शन से, कोई प्रेसिडेंट चेंज होने से, कोई प्राइम मिनिस्टर चेंज होने से, अरे कोरोना भी दुनिया को खत्म नहीं कर पाया तो क्या ही खत्म होगा. कितने प्रेसिडेंट आए गए, जब अमेरिका में ओबामा गया तो लोगों को लगा कि खत्म हो गया. दुनिया, जब तक दुनिया खत्म नहीं होगी तब तक दुनिया खत्म नहीं होगी, और जब तक दुनिया खत्म नहीं होगी तब तक the commerce will go on. There's a huge population in the world. People will buy stuff, people will sell stuff, people will consume stuff, and the equity market is the financial marketplace for you to grow your wealth.
Yes, and equity market is going to thrive. It's
of course
not going to stop. So we've seen a lot of economic turmoil. We've seen wars. We've seen a lot of political instability in different countries, in our own country, but it has
Correct.
never stopped from equity market to grow. So there are no chances. Everybody in 2020, out of fear, they had redeemed all their investments
Correct.
from equity market, and in
Yeah.
loss.
And you see what happened.
And since it happened, so yeah. So, and
ये
if
रोड
you're
ब्लॉक,
not
these are स्पीड ब्रेकर जब इकोनॉमी में आते हैं, उससे स्पीड ब्रेकर जब आता है तो गाड़ी रुक नहीं जाती है, गाड़ी स्लो होती है, और जब गाड़ी स्लो होती है तो गाड़ी से उतर नहीं जाते हो.
right,
ये अगर लोग समझ जाएं कि इन्वेस्टमेंट भी एक आपका एक जर्नी है, यू डोंट गेट ऑफ द व्हीकल जस्ट बिकॉज इट्स स्लोइंग डाउन और जस्ट बिकॉज इट इज गोइंग थ्रू अ रफ पैच. You stay in the car, so you stay invested. Times, good times, bad times, market corrections, crashes, if you can ride, like अंग्रेजी में कहते हैं, you need to ride the wave.
right.
So yes, please go on.
So, so yes, you rightly pointed out. Rather, I see those जो भी turmoils आते हैं, जो भी गड्ढे आते हैं, I feel that they are opportunities to invest more. So take it as an opportunity, and during those times when market is very volatile, and you see market going down 2-3%, 5%, just take it as an opportunity and invest a little more. Do a little more investment through lump sum in mutual funds.
Yeah.
So that would be rather good way
A
to
smarter
take it.
way. जानकी, जैसे एक कहावत है अंग्रेजी में, एक ये जो हम इन्वेस्टमेंट में जो बहुत एक पुरानी कहावत है, when the markets are greedy, you should be afraid, and when the markets are afraid, you should be greedy. For the longest time, I used to believe in it, but then I realized that this is rubbish. Whether the
Right.
markets are greedy or whether the markets are scared, you should just do your work and let the
Yes.
markets be. So I think ये बहुत important है कि don't touch. मतलब हर रोज कुछ हो रहा है, सरकारें आएंगी जाएंगी, जैसे अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी ने कहा था, सरकारें आएंगी जाएंगी, मगर धर्म रहना चाहिए. उसी तरह investment is your is something that you should continue doing, especially अगर आप एक क्रिएटिव फील्ड में हैं, जैसे हम वॉइस ओवर आर्टिस्ट हैं, और हमारे लिए और कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है, हमारे लिए कोई सोशल सिक्योरिटी सरकार की नहीं है, ना हमारा कोई ऐसा एसोसिएशन है जो हमको एक सोशल सिक्योरिटी दे रहा है. वी आर, तो हमको तो सबसे ज्यादा ये जो ब्रॉडर इक्विटी मार्केट है उसमें पार्टिसिपेट करना ही चाहिए.
Exactly. And ensuring that you are a long-term investor and you are investing for a longer duration, so then you don't have to worry about it. And still, if those those who are not comfortable putting all their money into equities, then we've got a lot of options. We've got hybrid funds, we've got debt funds, we've got debt as an asset class, wherein so the debt market is also going to grow in a multiple terms. Like it's so any you take any grown economy, let's say you take USA, the debt market is always going to be 5 times of equity market. So
Right.
you see, there has been a flood of fintech companies who are providing online bonds. So if you are somebody, so bonds, I would suggest that those who seek regular income, so those who have, let's say, accumulated certain amount, let's say
Correct.
you have, let's say, 30 lakhs 40 lakh rupees with you.
Mhm.
Now you don't want to you're already having you already have an income that is coming on regular basis, but you still want that certain expenses which are very necessary expenses, they should be taken care by if I have a regular income, so they can go for these bonds. So there are so many so starting with government securities and corporate bonds and NBFC companies who are offering very high yield bonds. Once
And
again,
gold bonds, and of course,
so gold bonds, so sovereign gold bonds, and all these are once again can be tax saving option.
Yeah.
Because the end of your investment in your complete amount, your corpus will be completely tax free. So,
Mm-hmm.
so gold bonds are there, RBI bonds are there, floating rate bonds are
Correct.
there, bonds. So these are a few, bonds option you can avail if you want to generate a regular income. If you've already got certain corpus accumulated and you want to generate
Mm-hmm.
some passive income out of it,
Yeah.
which
Mm-hmm.
caters your, needs, your essential
Exactly. To your everyday lifestyle expenses, it caters to. Yeah. Again, your entire asset allocation also depends on at what age are you, at what stage are you. So if you are at an advanced stage when you're closer to retirement, and then you want more security, you want more regular income, because you might not have that regular work or professional income coming in. So that would be a great time for you to rejig your allocation and have some more debt, which is getting you more regular income, and some part of it keeps growing as in a more progressive manner.
Right. So then we've got equities, we've got debt, we've got gold also. So when you say that we've been through a lot of economic turmoils, we've gone through there's some economic unpredictability globally, in our country as well. So that gold can be a diversification in your portfolio. It can
Absolutely, absolutely.
provide hedge to the inflation or to these. So because gold has the highest liquidity and there
Yeah,
is no currency risk involved with gold.
correct.
So gold is another. So and if you want a combination of all these three things, you'll get it in mutual funds. So you'll get
Correct.
equity, you'll get debt, and you get gold, silver. All
Yeah,
these commodities as well as these different asset classes are part of mutual fund portfolio. So you can, it's always better to have a professional financial planner helping you out, understanding your age, your financial goals, your risk appetite, and create sort of a secure disciplined financial plan for you, for your betterment, for your better financial health. So these
absolutely.
are avenues, and I feel that even if you have irregular income, mutual fund can be a very good investment avenue, because
Mhm.
it allows you to invest this, let's say 500 rupees to 1 CR at
Of
any
course.
time. So let's say if you are able to, let's say you have a few lean months, if you have a few months wherein you have some extra income, so plan your
Hmm.
investment accordingly, wherein park some amount in debt mutual fund, and you do
Hmm. Hmm.
STP in equity mutual funds.
Yeah.
That way you can take advantage of market volatility as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that way,
Absolutely.
financial planning,
STP, by the way, everyone, is systematic transfer plan.
right?
Like you have systematic investment plan, systematic withdrawal plan, you have a systematic transfer plan where, according to the market dynamics or according to your need at a particular time, you can transfer some part of your portfolio or some part of your investment from some kind of a aggressive or a high risk product to something more moderate, something more safer. So again, like what Janki is saying, it is not possible for lay people to have this kind of knowledge, to have this kind of understanding. Even hamari industry mein, we are all creative people. We do what we do very well, which is we act with our voice, we speak, and many of us, most of us, are not very adept at understanding finances or understanding the different options available. So it might make a lot of sense to have some kind of a financial planner who will help them navigate through their entire journey of dealing with their money. क्योंकि I've always believed that um, पैसा ही पैसा बनाता है, और money should work for you. Money should work for you. That's very, very important, that it should reach a stage where you should reach a stage where you don't work. Even if you don't work, your money works for you. So I think that हमारे लिए बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि हमारी लाइन में, unlike the visual art or the physical visual actors, हमारे यहाँ पर thankfully our voice ages like fine wine, और हम हमेशा, we are always in business. We have senior people in their 70s, 80s who are still doing voiceovers or dubbing. but then a calamity, a natural, a health related issue, anything could come up anytime. And हमारा तो ऐसा है कि हम ही ऑफिस हैं और हम ही प्रोडक्ट है, हम ही सर्विस है. Unlike a regular office where आप नहीं जाओगे तो somebody will back up for you. हमारे यहाँ पर
Right.
if we do not go for a recording, we lose that job, we lose that income. So किसी भी और इंडस्ट्री से ज्यादा आई थिंक हमारे लिए बहुत जरूरी है कि पैसा सिर्फ कमाया नहीं जाए, बल्कि धन को जो है संजोया जाए और धन को अच्छे से निवेश किया जाए. क्योंकि बैंक में सेविंग्स करने से या एफडी करने से आपका धन जो है वो इन्फ्लेशन को बीट नहीं करेगा, और कहीं ना कहीं साल दर साल उस पैसे की कीमत कम होती जाएगी. बल्कि ये जरूरी है कि इस तरह के जो फाइनेंशियल प्रोडक्ट्स है, जैसे जानकी बता रही थी, चाहे वो इक्विटी मार्केट, डायरेक्ट इक्विटी, को बहुत ही ध्यान से आदमी को एंटर करना चाहिए. अगर आपको नॉलेज नहीं है तो आप उससे दूर रहें. म्यूचुअल फंड्स हैं, दुनिया भर के फिक्स्ड इनकम इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स हैं, गोल्ड है, कमोडिटीज हैं, अल्टरनेटिव आजकल तो क्रिप्टो, दुनिया भर की चीजें हैं. खैर, एवरीथिंग हैज टू बी डन एज पर योर ओन ड्यू डिलिजेंस. और it's a great idea to have a financial planner. This is something, if you're not educated about finance, then you should have one, because I think it is a huge risk to take by not having anyone to guide you.
Because this is your hard-earned money that you'd be investing. So it is very important that you have somebody to guide you. Because see, जैसे if I'm working in finance industry, so I know a lot about this thing. But let's say if I'm an IT professional, so I may not have that sort of time, to track the market, what all investment avenues are there in the market. I may not know about all these things. So it's better to have a financial planner who can guide you with all these things. And you rightly pointed out about inflation, which is the elephant in the room.
Exactly.
which can eat away the power of purchasing, the money.
मुझे आज भी लगता है जानकी, लोग ना ज्यादा इन्फ्लेशन को एक बहुत ही सिंपल टर्म्स में आज भी कई लोग नहीं समझते हैं कि इन्फ्लेशन है क्या एंड हाउ डज इट अफेक्ट आवर एवरीडे लाइव्स.
It is very simple. जैसे I'll give you an example के जैसे तुअर दाल. So तुअर दाल, let's 5 साल पहले, just an example, let's say 200 रुपए किलो थी. आज वही तुअर दाल का दाम, let's say it is 250 rupees per kg.
Correct.
So there is an increase in the price over 5 years. You may not find, so basically if your income is not increasing, or if you're right, when you rightly said your money is not working for you,
Correct.
that is your purchasing power of the money is being eaten away.
बिल्कुल,
Right?
बिल्कुल, absolutely.
तो अगर आप लेट्स से उस टाइम भी अगर आप 50,000 कमाते थे, आज भी अगर आप लेट्स से आपकी इनकम उतनी बड़ी नहीं है, लेट्स से आप 50,000 या 60,000 कमा रहे हैं, बट जो इन्फ्लेशन है वो इतना हाई है. I would say the range of inflation is between -1% to 12%, up to 12%.
Okay.
And हर एक सेक्टर का डिफरेंट इन्फ्लेशन होता है. जैसे FMCG प्रोडक्ट्स का अलग इन्फ्लेशन होता है, एजुकेशन इन्फ्लेशन होता है. हमारा जो इन्फ्लेशन इंडेक्स आता है इंडिया का, विच इज लेट्स से अराउंड, वी आर इन द रेंज ऑफ अराउंड 6 to 7%. जो हमारा एक इंडेक्स बनता है, इट डजंट हैव दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ प्रपोर्शन जो हमारा रेगुलर लाइफ का होता है. किसी का एजुकेशन एक्सपेंस ज्यादा होता है, किसी का ग्रोसरी का एक्सपेंस ज्यादा होता है. सो वी कैन नॉट, मतलब इन्फ्लेशन को कभी भी निग्लेक्ट नहीं कर सकते. सो लेट्स से वही लेट्स से, सिंपल एग्जांपल दे रही हूँ. लेट्स से 5 साल पहले आपका ग्रोसरी का एक्सपेंस था 50,000, अभी आपका एक्सपेंस है 70,000-75,000. सो दैट इज द इफेक्ट ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन. द प्राइसेस हैव गॉन अप. Apart from the prices, your lifestyle will also grow. So making all these things, it is very important कि आप inflation beat करने वाला return generate करिए. When I talk about investment avenues, let's say if I'm talking about some traditional policies, interest, let's say बैंक की FD की बात करते हैं, जो अभी हमें 8% या मैक्स टू मैक्स 7.5% देती है। अब ये आप अज्यूम करिए कि आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट है जो 7% से बढ़ रहा है, लेट्स से आपने एफडी में इन्वेस्ट किया है 7-7.5% से बढ़ रहा है,
करेक्ट।
उसके साथ आप जो इन्फ्लेशन है, मतलब जो आपकी प्राइजेस है, जो आपका एक्सपेंस है, वो भी 7 या 8% से बढ़ रहा है उसी के साथ। सो अल्टीमेटली आपकी वैल्यू, जो आपका मनी का वैल्यू है, दैट इज नॉट ग्रोइंग, रादर इट इज
Correct.
स्टेबल, या फिर वो पीछे जा रहा है।
करेक्ट।
सो
और ये बिल्कुल जरूरी नहीं है, लाइक यू राइटली सेड, परचेसिंग पावर की बात कर रहे हैं आप, कि बिल्कुल कि 5 साल पहले अगर आपको 200 रुपए में 1 किलो तूर दाल मिलती थी, तो आज 200 रुपए में आपको 1 किलो नहीं मिल रही है, आज आपको पौना किलो मिल रही है या आधा किलो ही मिल रही है। तो आपके पैसे का पावर कम हो गया। और ये बिल्कुल भी पॉसिबल नहीं कि हर एक की इनकम हर साल या हर समय बढ़ती रहे, बल्कि प्रॉब्लम यही है कि बिल्कुल भी ऐसा पॉसिबल नहीं है कि सबकी इनकम, कईयों की इनकम कम भी होती है। और ये
राइट,
जिंदगी का ये फेरा है, आपकी कम होती है, बढ़ती है, आप किसी भी काम में हो। ये बिल्कुल जरूरी नहीं है कि इन्फ्लेशन के हिसाब से आपकी इनकम बढ़ेगी। इसीलिए ऑल द मोर, हमारे काम में भी ऑल द मोर जरूरी है कि जो भी आपकी इनकम है, अगर आपका एक हिस्सा, उसका एक अच्छा हिस्सा अगर आप इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं इन सम प्रोडक्ट जो इन्फ्लेशन को बीट कर रहा है, जिसमें सबसे पहला नंबर इक्विटी का ही आता है, क्योंकि ट्रेडिशनली हिस्टोरिकली ओवर लास्ट 30-40 ईयर्स का डेटा देखें तो आपको इक्विटी 12 से 14% या 10 से 12-13% का आपको कैगर मिलता है। तो आप, दैट इज द ओनली इंस्ट्रूमेंट दैट इज बीटिंग योर इन्फ्लेशन, ताकि कल को even if your income doesn't rise, but because you've invested some money and that money is rising at a higher rate, so automatically you are trying to maintain the purchasing power of the wealth that you have. And I think
राइट।
it is, like you said, the white elephant, it's the elephant in the room that we are talking about.
So I'll just give you an example. So let's
हाँ
say
जी।
in 2024, let's say your monthly expenses are 1 lakh rupees.
Okay.
I'm just considering 7% as the inflation, and I'm
Okay.
calculating. Let's say I'm going to retire in 2064. Let's say 40 years down the line. So, what do you think? This 1 lakh, what would be my expenses in 2064
At the
at
rate of 7% inflation.
7% inflation? 16 lakhs.
Oh my God. Okay.
So whatever I'm paying right now, 1 lakh rupees, if it is my
Mhm.
current expense, in 2064, it's going to be 16 lakhs. So you need to ensure that you are earning, or your money is working for you. It is beating inflation. It's generating higher return than the inflation, so
Correct.
that that is how you'll be able to grow your wealth. There is
Yeah.
no other investment avenue that can help you beat the inflation and grow your wealth. Basically, we are all even there were some questions when we had that form filled up,
Yeah.
that how
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
grow the wealth. If you want to
Mhm.
grow your wealth, if you want to keep it steady, if you want to keep it stable, then you invest in the
Mhm.
traditional avenues. But if you really
Correct.
want to grow your wealth, if you want to accumulate wealth, or you want to generate higher returns than the inflation, then equity market is the only market wherein you can do that, which will help you out with
Absolutely. But then again, it is so important that you participate in this instrument with
yes,
the right knowledge. Because if you participate without the right knowledge or with half-baked knowledge, or you're still living in the world of tips, then I think आपके हाथ जलने ही वाले हैं। And at the end of it, आप ये कहेंगे कि यार ये तो मार्केट मेरे लिए नहीं है। बट अब ये हम एहसास नहीं होता हमें कि हमने इस चीज की पढ़ाई ही नहीं की है। अरे आप अगर डॉक्टर बनते हो तो आप पढ़ाई करके डॉक्टर बनते हो, आप सीए
right,
बनते हो तो आप 5-6 साल का पूरी पढ़ाई करते हो, तब जाके आप चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट बनते हो। तो बिना पढ़ाई के तो आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते हो। बिना, हमारा भी काम जो है, अनलेस आई लर्न, unless I am good at my craft, I will not be able to have a long, sustainable career. उसी तरह, if you want to have a long time in the investment world, then you need to understand the rules. And this is something that I see a lot, that the aspiration of quick money has made people perceive the equity market as a place for quick money, while I think it is everything but that. In fact,
Right?
this is the worst place for quick money.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. I mean, if like I pointed out in our initial conversation that
Mhm.
equity market is not for short-term investment. If you are in for long duration, then you are for equity markets. Otherwise, you're not for equity. It is not. You will not get quick money. Rather, like 93% of those traders, you'll also end up losing.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think for all those who are looking at who are looking at this, you can look at understanding the equity market as a very important financial instrument to grow your wealth over decades, not over
Right?
months or years, but over decades, and understand that breaking the compounding journey will almost reset your journey. It'll come back to square one. So, keeping all this in mind, only invest that amount of money which you can fairly say that you will not need or you will not want to need for the medium or the long term. And the rest of the asset allocation that you have, you could look at more moderate risk instruments like maybe bonds or debt instruments or things like that. There are so many such instruments also. As long as my mantra is, as long as you are investing, every rupee you make, every 100 rupees you make, whatever, even if it's investing 10 rupees or 5 rupees out of it, do that, because that 5 rupee, you don't know कि वो कब जाके मुकद्दर का सिकंदर बनेगा 15-20 साल में. That 5 rupees will be 5,000 rupees. But you have to, have that diligent mindset, and you have to be boring, and you should not be too smart.
Very true. That's very true. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
give you that example of 1 lakh rupees with
Hmm.
that 7% of
Hmm.
inflation,
Yeah.
you'll be spending 16 lakh in 20,
Okay.
20.
Okay. Yes.
Now let's
2064, correct?
now let's say if you had invested 1 lakh.
हाँ, अब ये बात कर, ये काम की बात है.
This compounding at the rate of 14%,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
What do you think would I make in 2064, 40 years down
I
the
don't
line?
I don't even want to guess, because I know any number I give you, you're gonna beat that number. So please tell us.
256 lakh rupees. That 1 lakh will become in 40 years with only CAGR of 14%.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that's how you'll be able to beat the inflation. So your 16 lakh, you'll not feel that yeah, abhi 16 lakh ho gaye hai, that 1 lakh, because
Correct,
you
correct,
end up making much higher than you'll be able to beat the inflation. You'll have
correct.
that wealth that you'll be able to make.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
But
that is
वही
the
है
power.
कि this, yeah, it requires diligence. That's the power of compounding. And at the cost of repeating myself for the nth time, I feel that as a freelance community of creative performing artists that we are, I think many of us take our money either for granted, or our relationship with our money is not based on education. And I think it is important to change that, because only if we change that, then in the long run, we and our families, our children, our next generation will have a, a more predictable and a comfortable life. And I think to generate that, to have that life, you don't need to have very high windfall income. You need to have diligent, regular, small investments from whatever you're making.
That's very true. That is so. So although freelancers have flexibility, but
Mhm.
at the same time, I feel it's when it comes to investing, it is very important to be disciplined investor,
Mhm.
disciplined in terms of remaining invested for a longer duration, being consistent in investing, being consistent in monitoring your income, expenses, and budgeting, because we all have this desire of buying a lot of things. There are a lot of luxurious items. There are so many things that we get tempted to buy,
Yeah,
but it is equally important that we remain disciplined and we remain consistent in investing, and not only not only invest in equity, prepare a proper financial plan, have your
correct.
financial goals aligned, have your health insurance, term insurance, your emergency funds in check, and then you go
Absolutely.
ahead with your investment journey. I believe that's
Absolutely. Absolutely bang on. I think today we're living in times where aspirations are running very high, and people tend to take on a lot of debt. And I strongly believe that your financial decisions do not just impact your life, but they impact the lives of your loved ones, of your family, of your children. And I think it is imperative that you take wise decisions. You need to approach debt or taking loans in a very, very informed manner. There are many thumb rules, and some rule says that you should not, your EMI should not be more than 10% of your monthly income.
right.
So basically, ऐसे बहुत सारे rules हैं. मैं नहीं कह रहा कि सारी that you play by all the rules, and you can make your own rules provided you are mindful of your life, mindful of what you spend. And as freelance voiceover artists, it is important that we gain good financial taxation, investment understanding, and that you approach all these financial instruments. I think the highlight I would again say is the beginning when Janki spelled out the foundational things that one needs to do. So I think even before you invest your money into the equity market, debt market, FTs, or whatever instrument you decide to, after taking proper understanding, much before that, insure your health. Invest money in your health insurance. Invest money in ensuring the lives of your family after you are gone, and that can happen with a simple vanilla instrument like a term insurance plan. There is a lot of mis-selling of insurance. I think the entire industry thrives on mis-selling stuff to you. But just like I said, it's a very boring thing to do. And if you have a good financial planner who is not looking at his or her, remuneration or commission, who is attaching your growth with his or her growth, I think that kind of a financial planner is someone that you should look at. On this note, Janki, I would want to, not because you're here, but I know you and I know what a wonderful person and professional you are. I would want you to, if someone wants to connect with you to seek guidance on their financial goals, how can one reach you?
One can reach on my email ID. I can also provide my contact details. You let me
I think your
know.
email ID should be good. I think we would, so that if anyone wants to connect with you, if you can just spell your email ID, we could have that thing in the chat box here. If you can just have that, if you can just say that to us.
It's Connect Janki,
Okay. Connect
ConnectJanki
Janki. Okay.
at gmail.com.
Okay, that's connectjanki@gmail.com is where you need to reach out to her, or you can reach out to us and we will send you her connect. It might not be the best thing to put out the number on a public platform, but we can have your email ID. And are you there on LinkedIn or any other place where people can look up what you're doing?
Yes. I'm there on LinkedIn. You've already
Your
mentioned.
Janki H Patel, your Janki H Patel on LinkedIn. Your
Yes,
Janki H. Patel, Certified Financial Planner, CFP. You can find her on LinkedIn. You can connect with her. You can send her a DM. And you should, I think I would really encourage people to do that, not just connect with Janki because she's here, but connect with, even if you have someone in your family, your friend circle, connect with some financial planner, ask them to help you, but just make sure that you get through to the right person. Janki, it has been so, so, so wonderful. You spoke like a true friend, and you spoke at a level where we could really connect with each other. And I'm sure everyone who's watched this session today, or people who will watch this session in days to come. We're also going to put out clips of this session in times to come. We'll really thank you for such insightful, tips and views about how one can look at finance and investment, especially as a freelance voiceover artist.
No, like I said, it's an honor, and I'm very grateful to be part of this workshop. Amazing! It's an
Thank you.
amazing. You made it very easy for me. I'm the
Thank you,
problem.
Janki. Thank you. And I really hope, really wish, I know, Janki, you're in Ahmedabad, but I really wish that on the 8th of December, which is this Sunday, you can join us at the grand finale of India Voice Fest Awards, India Voice Fest, the awards, and the grand finale. I hope you can make it.
I'll give my best for that.
Please do your best. Try, because क्या कहते हैं, कोशिश करते हैं वो आ जाते हैं, जो वादा करते हैं वो नहीं आ पाते. So please make your, try your best. It would be lovely to see you, and you can also see our huge voice industry family. And yeah, thank you once again, Janki. Thank you for your time, and you have a great evening ahead. Thank you.
Have a great